Alright guys, today we are playing Yorion's Rats, and it's similar to a deck that I saw CGB playing. So Yorion as the companion, and then 3 Yorion in the main board. Then we run Charming Prince with the idea that Charming Prince will exile Yorion, Yorion will come in, exile Charming Prince, and they will just keep each other going, and hopefully combined with Burglar Rat or Yarik's Fenlurker to keep our opponent's hand empty. And then Glass Casket. We run 3 of those. When it enters, exile a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less until it leaves the battlefield. And what's the most interesting about that is typically enchantments do that. Artifacts don't typically do that. So the fact that this one does, there's quite a few people running destroy target enchantment, but not really destroy target artifact. There is a couple mutate, or there is a mutate creature that destroys either. So if they really want to get back what we've stolen with Glass Casket, they can mutate and destroy it. But that's life. And then we run 4 Birth of Meletis, search your library for planes, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle, and phase 2, lore counter 2, create a 0/4 colorless wall, and phase 3, gain 2 life. Then we run 4 Omen of the Sun. When it enters, create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens and gain 2 life. Then you can sacrifice it to scry 2. We're typically not going to sacrifice it because we want Yorion to be able to bounce it, keep gaining us that life. Then 2 Treacherous Blessings. When it enters, draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose a life. And when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Okay, then we run 2 Kaya Orzhov Usurpers. And that's really great against the Cat Oven deck. Really, a lot of the sacrifice decks, this is amazing against. Then we run 4 Oath of Kaya. When it enters, deal 3 damage to any target, gain 3 life. And whenever an opponent attacks a Planeswalker I control, which I'm only running 1 Planeswalker, and people aren't typically attacking it because they don't care much about it, I guess. So really, we're just doing it to gain 3 and deal 3 damage, and then hopefully bounce with Yorion and start it again. Then we run Basilica Bell Hunt. 3 of those. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card, and I gain 3 life. 1 Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis. -1, up to 2 target creatures get +2/+1. I never use that. -2, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. That one is the reason we play it. Or possibly for the -3 if we really need the life. Then Doom Foretold. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-land, non-token permanent. So typically, what we're hoping to do is play Treacherous Blessing, turn 3-ish, and then Doom Foretold the turn after, so we can sacrifice Treacherous Blessing and not have to lose life whenever we cast a spell. Okay, then the Clackbridge Troll. When it enters, our opponent creates 3 0/1 white goat creature tokens, and at the beginning of combat on my turn, an opponent can sacrifice a creature. If they do, I gain 3 life and draw a card. And they almost always do sacrifice. So it's basically pay 5 to pretty consistently gain 3 life and draw a card. And then of course the Yorions for bounce. Oh, and I do need to fix the land. I'm going to fix the land real quick. So 13 Plains, 14 Swamp, 2 Castle Lochthwain, 4 Godless Shrine, and 4 Fabled Passage. Alright, and let's see how it does. Alright, we're going to keep our first hand. We're going to play a Burglar Rat on turn 2. Opponent discards a Heartless Act. Plays a Stormfist Crusader. So the plan here is to Omen of the Sun on the opponent's turn. We can double block the Stormfist Crusader. But I forgot that the mechanic for Menace, when you click on both creatures, then click block, it doesn't actually block them. So we play Doom Foretold, so they have to sacrifice the Stormfist Crusader. Now any permanent they play, they have to sacrifice. So they have to get out 2 permanents in a turn. We have a stop at our upkeep so that we can flash in Omen of the Sun at the beginning of our upkeep. They might go ahead and play a permanent here, thinking that I'm going to have to either sacrifice Burglar Rat or Doom Foretold. It just seems like they're roping me. Yep, roping me again. So I always throw them a nice when I'm getting roped. Attack for 2, Doom Foretold, they have nothing to sacrifice. We gain 2 life, draw a card, put a 2/2 creature out. And here we're going to Yarik's Fenlurker. And they exile a mountain. So we're going to Yorion, bounce 3 of our things. Bring them back, so they have to discard their hand, which is a Liliana and a Fire Prophecy. I'm going to cast Ill-Gotten Inheritance. We're going to go ahead and Doom Foretold and Treacherous Blessing to draw 3. We're going to attack Liliana to keep her off of Ultimate. The opponent is casting permanents to keep a hold of that Liliana. So now we don't need to... Now with that second Doom Foretold, they had to sacrifice Liliana and their Shadow Spear, and it was pretty much game. Here we're going to play a Burglar Rat. And they're going to discard a Mountain. Play a Sailor. And now we're going to play another Burglar Rat. And they discard a Shock. And they don't want to attack with the Scorch Spitter until they get the trigger from Chandra's Spitfire. We're going to go ahead and Doom Foretold. They're going to sacrifice the Spectral Sailor. Doesn't make any sense to sacrifice the other 2. Okay, now the opponent's hand is basically empty. So we needed that card draw. Or, sorry, we needed that life gain. And then when he had to sacrifice the Scorch Spitter, he only gets to attack for 1. They discard a Thieving Otter. Play out the Obosh, even though he's going to have to sacrifice it this turn. And that pretty much wraps it up. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. We're going to play a Rat on turn 2. Get out a discard. Opponent's going to discard a Forest. Play out a Paradise Druid. We're just going to go ahead and Birth of Meletis, get our land. The opponent is going to tap out for this. So now we can use Glass Casket on the Paradise Druid and at least slow down their mana a little bit. They do get Nylea out. And I did make a mistake with the Yorion Glass Casket in a minute. There, I should not have bounced away the let the Paradise Druid come back because it gave him Devotion to green. Then it ended up working out because then he lost Devotion, which means the Shadow Spear falls off because it's no longer a creature. And now we are sort of off to the races here. Gaining 4 life and 4 creatures for 1/1 tokens every turn. Now, Yorvo is 3 devotion, so he's pretty hard to deal with. I made another mistake there. I blocked the 3/4 instead of the 6/7. Glass Casket's going to get rid of Yorvo. Going to lose devotion again. I'm not sure why the opponent scoops it up there, but they did. Okay, starting out with a Season of Growth. We're going to Omen of the Sun at the end of their turn. Oh. Going to gain 3 life, make them discard a card, swing for 2. Now, as long as the Wildborn Preserver doesn't get too many counters on it this turn, and they get none, we can Oath of Kaya it before it gets out of control. Okay, they're going to discard another card. We gain 3 more life. So 2 Nylea decks in a row. They discard a Nissa. Now they have their devotion. Oops. Okay, Yorion is going to gain us some more life. We're going to just try to strip away their devotion a little bit. They found another Yorvo. And I should have attacked there, since I have the other Yorion in hand, and invited the block. And now I've got quite a few chump blockers. And he was holding onto a Vivian. He would rather keep the Beast Whisperer alive than play out the Vivian. So at this point, we're just buying time until we find Doom Foretold, basically. Because now the opponent has permanent extra card draw with the Beast Whisperer and any creatures. And the only way we can kill that... Nice. So they threw the Gem Razor on just to get rid of the one artifact creature. And I assume they're realizing that I can take a whole lot of damage before I'm in any sort of danger. So now I'm just going to focus on hitting them in the face. And since my enchantment is gone during his turn, I have a fairly permanent 3 damage to him. And really, I'm just hoping I find Doom Foretold here. I think I find nothing great. Oh, and I think now the opponent has realized that Nylea can keep their hand relatively filled. And that was a mistake too, because the only way that works is if Yorion and Oath of Kaya come in the same turn. Okay, so here we're going to Burglar Rat on turn 2. And they discard a Orzhov Enforcer. We're going to get rid of that oven. So looking back, I should have blocked with the Burglar Rat since I knew I was going to have Omen of the Sun. Yeah, the Basilica Bell Hunt is the better choice there. Gain some life, make them discard again. They discard a Priest of Forgotten Gods, play a second Bastion. So they are keeping up the damage. And right there, the only reason to play Yorion instead of the other Bell Hunt was so that we could get them to discard their entire hand. That was a lot of gameplay in 12 minutes. So I did speed up the video to like 2 or 3 times, I don't remember, just so I could do quick commentary on it and you can get through as many games as you can in the shortest amount of time. If you like that video format, let me know down in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. If you like it the normal way where it's commentated live during the gameplay, let me know that too. And whichever gets more votes, I'll do it that way. All right, thanks. Have a good day. And that's an order.